Hello.
Hello.
Oh, that doesn't sound like Beth.
It's because I'm not Beth.
Who's that?
My name is Brian, and I am the person who is responsible for this podcast.
No, you're my husband. That's what people know you as.
Secondary.
That's all you are. You are
I am
my husband.
Primary feature of this entire organisation.
We got big news.
What's that?
Beth's gone.
She has gone, yeah.
She's gone to get her chicken sandwich, so
She
we
has
thought we'd
gone,
start the podcast without her.
She doesn't know we're doing this.
No, but Brian, I can't. Your voice isn't like excited enough for this podcast.
I'm a very serious talker.
Yeah.
I like in-depth conversations, not just absolute nonsense gossip.
Boring. Let's start the episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and welcome
The Unfiltered Bride Podcast. Tips from the top table and beyond.
so you know it's going to be juicy. We're very excited to announce our new sponsor for this month is Holly Robinson Jewellery.
You may have heard us mention Holly before, as she designed and created my gorgeous ring stack and even worked with Brian to get me the perfect engagement ring, so I am forever indebted to her.
Holly burst onto the wedding scene in 2018 after working for high street jewellers. She offers a no-nonsense, creative and refreshing approach to wedding jewellery.
From engagement and wedding rings to eternity rings and special gifts, Holly is the trained gemologist and jewellery designer behind the business with decades of experience. She's able to bring your jewellery dreams to life.
Teaming an understanding of current trends with old school traditions, factoring in your lifestyle, preferences and inspiration, Going Bespoke never looked or felt so good.
Holly can be visited at her offices in Cirencester or has the option for home visits. She travels across the UK and abroad to work with her clients.
I highly recommend getting in touch with Holly, whether it's a wedding band to fit that unique engagement ring or those perfect earrings for your big day. Holly has you covered.
We've popped all of her information in the description below, so go and check her out.
I'm back!
Did anyone actually think Brian had taken over the podcast?
Oh, I know you're all so excited. Brian didn't let me eat my burger though, because he's like, hurry up and
Mate, it's literally taking you about 4 hours to just eat some chips though. You are long.
It was your fault we had to film at 9 o'clock at night.
No, it wasn't.
Because your kid had sports day. Anyway, moving on. So obviously Georgie's mentioned. Have you mentioned that we're talking about photographers?
No, I don't actually think we did.
Oh, what did you say?
Just saying that Brian's doing the podcast, and then he was so monotone that I couldn't deal with it.
I genuinely think people will be really...
Generally or genuinely?
Genuinely.
Okay.
Really excited.
What,
to
if
hear
Brian...
they thought Brian was coming on the episode.
I do think he should do a groom one.
No, I'm tired. I've been asking for him to get a camera. I've been asking for him to get a mic.
You wouldn't even let him buy a light.
I said... Also, we own the podcast together, but he wanted one that was 30 quid more expensive. Mr. Frugal Spender goes cheaper.
Not his money.
Practice what you preach,
honey.
Anyway, I feel like I've got a bit of beef with Brian now because he wouldn't let me eat my burger.
You can eat your burger. You can eat it on the podcast.
No. Anyway, so photography. Ask me some questions. Let's go. Quick fire.
Okay. Ooh, man or woman?
Doesn't matter.
2 shooters or 1?
2.
If you could afford camera and video, or 2 cameras, what would you do?
Camera and video.
Okay. Light and aerial, dark and moody.
Dark and moody.
Candids or posed.
Candid.
That's a lie. You're lying.
No.
You hate candid photos of you.
But I don't want posed.
But you fake candid in a pose, so that's fine.
Okay, well, a fake candid then.
Okay, fine.
Come on, I'm doing one of this.
You ask me some now. So
No,
you can't think of any. There's no more questions. Your turn. See?
I got a real big ick about photographers.
What?
A really big one. The photographers that still watermark their images on social media.
I totally agree with you. Honey, no one's stealing that one.
No one cares. Honestly.
That is very... And the people that do it are not photos that you'd...
Genuinely. Right, I need to get comfy for this episode because I've had beef with photographers. I personally haven't had beef, but my client has. And it's juicy, but I'm going to leave it to the end.
I was going to say, we can't start with beef yet, can we?
We can't stop with
beef. The beef. So let's talk about photographers then. Where do you start? Where do you even start?
I think you just need to start on Instagram.
I agree.
I actually am going to put something out that's a bit quite controversial.
Go on.
Not going to lie. I wouldn't go for a photographer that is on the recommended suppliers list at a venue. Within reason.
Yeah.
Check them out. Look at them. If you like the vibe, great. But If you're basing your decision on a photographer that's been at a venue and they know the venue so well and all of this, don't book on that sole reason.
Okay, fair. Okay, I prefer you saying it like that.
Because these people have probably been around the block a long time. They're pally with the venue. And a lot of them are old school.
Fair.
If your venue is older.
I agree with you. Oh my God. This is how many episodes it's taken us to, like, I feel like we're starting to agree with each other more.
So I think, check them out. Check the people on the suppliers list, of course. Check them out.
Yes.
If you like it, great.
But I do like your thing of why are they on the supplier list?
Yeah. Get
Question
top
it.
3 photographers is what I would do. Scroll the internet, look at reviews, look at their photos.
No. Look at that whole album for a wedding.
Yeah.
Because guess what they do?
Put the best pictures.
Obviously.
And you need to have a call with every single one of them.
What, all 3?
All 3.
Oh, you're going to get some photographer hate by saying stop wasting our fucking time.
I don't care. But I think it's really important. Well, your top 2 then.
Okay, fine.
Or a bit of email chat, get to know them a little
Yes.
bit. Or if they've got a really good About Me page, then, or like, I love videographers now who are like, show me behind the camera, like talking more, showing their personality, showing their vibe, showing them like editing. And like, I think that's really important. You've got to gel with your photographer.
They are with you
The whole day.
And I don't even just mean there. They are in your grill like 50% of the day. You are talking to that person all day. They will be the person that comes over and goes, come on, we need to go do some photos. Let's do some grill. They're in the boringest parts of the day, but also they are there to capture everything. You have got to see them as a friend, like genuinely.
They are the one thing, the photos are the one thing, or maybe second thing for videographer, it's going to last forever on your wedding.
Yes, agreed.
Oh, and your rings. 3 things.
Okay, 3 things that last.
God, what else? Dress.
Yeah, I do still have my dress.
One of the most important things, and when I tell you my beef story at the end of
Just
the
tell the
episode-
beef story. Just tell it now.
Oh, go on then. You
For
sure?
God's sake.
You sure?
I feel like you've been desperate to say it.
So I can talk about this now because the wedding's over.
Yeah.
We've probably got the pictures by now.
I
We're
hope
good.
so, yeah.
So, situation is
Yeah.
old school photographer
I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
watermarks their photos.
Of course they do.
Is on the suppliers list.
Of course they are. Tick, tick, tick. That's a 3.
Red flag, red flag, red
That's
flag.
like when on the TikTok trend where it comes up and it's like watermarks photos.
So
You've been begging to do this story. Get to it.
shut up. Booked photographer, not a problem.
Cool, yeah.
They also have booked videographer.
Cool.
And content creator.
Ooh, fine.
Wait, ooh.
No, because I feel like old school guy's not going to like it.
Mr. Old School, not happy. Not only with the content creator, the videographer as well.
Oh,
So
hun.
a week before the wedding, he has thrown his toys out the pram.
This is insecurities, hun.
Yeah, thrown them out the pram. Refused to work with the videographer. Refused to work with the content creator.
Why? Is it in his contract?
In his contract, it
Yeah.
says no one has to take still photography.
Oh, well,
So
that's not that,
Both
is it?
out. The question that they're still allowed to come. So kicked up a fuss, and then is now okay with the videographer, but wouldn't have a call with the videographer.
Why?
So throw any big balls around.
What? It was toys out the pram a minute ago. Why has he
So
got
you
big
mean-
balls now?
Don't know if he has. Probably got small ones. Just dictating a week before the wedding, which
That's so bad.
really has annoyed me because my couple are really stressed about it all. So obviously, content creator can't go. They lost the money for that.
I would have got rid of the photographer.
Wait then.
Oh.
Did that. Videographers are now allowed to come, but it's goddamn bloody awkward because they know that they don't want it. He doesn't want them there. Content creator is like, no, she's going to get in my shots. Most content creators, like we said in the hierarchy, they stand behind the photographer and videographer.
Yeah.
A lot of them know their place. It's never been an issue. The videographers worked with the content creator before and are happy. So they're happy, photographers not.
God's sake.
Can I just add? He ain't respected in the end. He isn't.
You're so Gloucester,
He
mate.
isn't like
Don't try and tell me you're
respected, like
Cheltenham.
well respected. Yeah, he's been
Who is
around
it?
the block. But they said they liked his photos and whatever, and fine. You do you, hum. So I get a call from the content creator,
Yeah.
and she's just like, look, this is situation. What do you reckon? Seagulls at like
Wait,
9 o'clock at night.
Seagulls featuring
They
in the
can smell my
podcast.
burger. I hope the bride doesn't mind me sharing this, but
Well, it's too late now.
No, but I
It's
don't
like
wanna
Louis
upset-
Spence all over again.
I don't want to upset them, basically.
What's happened?
But I respect the client. I love the client. They're
But also,
both
they've
amazing.
done nothing wrong here. I
No,
feel really bad for
and
them.
they've stressed him out. He's stressed them out, and it's upset me and pissed me off
Ooh.
that you're going to do that to one of my clients
Yeah.
a week before their wedding.
Have they changed him?
No,
Why?
I don't know. But basically, they didn't want. They were just like, you butting in my conversation and ruining my story. So regardless, I called the bride.
Drink my drink.
I got a backup photographer with 3 days to go. 3 days to go for them. I was like, you know what? I'm going to speak to them.
Yeah.
Content creator got 3 backups. And I'm going to say
Photographer backup.
big,
Oh, I think I saw this.
big photographers, well respected in the industry.
Yeah.
They were all ready to go. Pat was ready to go.
Yeah.
So I rang the client and I was like, look, I've just been involved with this. I'm very close to my clients. So if
Yeah.
if I wasn't close to the client, I wouldn't have got involved. But
Fair.
I know them and they
There's certain
would've-
clients that you're in enough with to be able to say, guys, look, I've sorted this out. Because
Yeah. So I gave them a call and I was like, look, I've heard where you're at, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, look, we think we made the decision. Content creator's not going to come. Videographer they're happy with. And I was like, look, I need you guys to really think about this. I was like, they are going to be with you
at
the
what
whole
point
day.
can you step in?
The vibe is going to be completely off. The energy's going to be off. They're like, well, we hope he's not going to ruin our wedding day on Friday. I was like,
he will.
it's more, I'll be able to tell you next week.
Yeah.
More at another point. I'll be able to tell you at some point what went actually down on the wedding day. But you've upset the makeup artist because the makeup artist knows a content creator. You've upset the videographers because they know you don't want to be there.
Yes.
You've upset me because you're trying to tell me that I can't take video footage of my work.
Why?
But who are you to dictate this shit?
This is the problem. The issue I have is that photographers are top dog.
Yeah.
Within reason. And I think some photographers forget the within reason part.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had some photographers where I've been like, cool, you do what you're doing. I need them back here. We're all on time. Everything's happening.
Yeah.
They're going off for some couple photos. Cool. I need them back here at 3:45 because that's when they're going in. Yeah. See you in a bit. 4:00 they come back. And I'm like, now you're just taking the piss a little bit. It's not, nobody finds it fun. Like you're just being late on purpose because you can. Because you're the photographer.
And so obviously this situation's all happening.
Mm.
And then obviously other photographers have found out about the situation and they are not happy.
Well, I saw it on Instagram.
Did you? Who from?
It was being shared on stories.
Really, who?
I can't remember.
No, I don't think it's the right same thing.
Might be a different person.
Yeah.
I saw somebody else the other day that was like, need a photographer on a date.
Oh, really?
Mm.
But well-respected photographers in the industry who have been around the block a long time,
Yeah.
who are keeping up with the content creator life
Yeah.
and accepting it and working well with them.
Yeah. You realise that content creators can get content for you, don't you, photographer?
So, but then looking at the photos, it's they're intimidated, they're scared because some content creators' photos are top, like looking good compared to their photos. Just saying.
Yeah. When is this wedding coming up?
2 days time. So it was 2 days ago. I rang the bride and was like, "I have got you another backup photographer."
And she just didn't want to do it.
And do you know what? I think he's installed so much fear into them, and they've spent a lot of money. They
I was
can't
gonna say how much you can't get that money back.
justify spending. Like, don't get me wrong, I've got discounted prices for them.
Yeah.
But it's still a lot of money to then
Probably
lose
thousands
out.
of pounds.
But then also you lose out on the content creator. So like, how do you weigh it?
But then
weigh
the
it up?
content creator would be less than the photographer.
Yeah. Not that much though. Not that much less because I got a really good deal for them.
Oh, okay.
Totally appreciate that. It maybe their style wasn't exactly what they were looking for,
Yeah.
but it's so important.
So
Your
important.
photographer, videographer, your team work well together on the day because
Yes.
it runs smoothly.
Yeah. Well, everyone
Everyone's
just
on-
has a nice time. Like, there's some weddings that I go to, and I'm like, I have had the best day.
Yeah.
Literally the best day because everybody is, because we normally all sit down together at some point for the food if they feed us. Going from last week's episode. But we'll sit down and we'll chat and we'll like, I don't know. There's a real good energy.
It's a good little
between
community,
people,
like,
yeah.
community. And after you all get the photos and the videos,
Yeah.
and you're like, wow, we all made this together. And like everyone's like on a high.
Yeah.
But honestly, that
As soon as you put a
situation
bad egg in there,
is blown my mind.
rot, mate.
And I'm just like,
I don't get it.
It's really riled me up to the point where the couple won't even, they didn't even ask the price of the other photographer. They'd already made their mind
Yeah.
up. But I just think, who are you to dictate that? And that's, you know, when people are like, I'm paying my suppliers, why do they get food? Why do they,
Yeah.
why is your supplier dictating what happens? Unless you're like a wedding planner who needs to make sure
Yeah,
X,
but
Y, Z's
equally,
happen.
it's still, I still have to be
And
like,
it's not in your contract. It's still
Okay.
a photo.
You're right.
No, because it's
No, I'd
annoyed
be annoyed
me
as well.
that it stressed my client out,
Yeah.
and they don't need that the week. They took the week off work.
Yeah.
Get ready, final bits.
Yeah.
And the same said photographer. You know who you are. I don't care. I don't rate whatever. Is that bad? They don't
If
listen
it's
to
not
this.
the style, that's fine.
They don't listen to this.
Nah.
Whatever. You might do. I'll tell you you're a dick to your face.
Oh
I'm not scared. Same said photographer then stressed my client out about the wet weather plan this week. Oh, this won't fit down there. Grow up, mate. It's not your problem.
Ooh.
My problem, I fix. Your problem, you're the one causing problems.
Anyway, that was a good story.
Can you give me a down low on that?
What do you mean?
How you feel about it?
Yeah, I would be furious if it was my couple. I would.
And do you know what upsets me more? Is because I genuinely actually like care about all my couples.
This is, yeah, if
I genuinely...
anytime somebody messages and says this is happening, I'm like, I will fucking fix this. I will fix this for you. And then it's hard when you're against other suppliers. Because it'll happen, and I'll have this sometimes when I'm working with photographers and we're both saying a different thing to be doing. And I'm thinking, I know that you just want the best photos. I get that. But I'm thinking about the entire wedding here. And then it's like, who'd you pick?
Tell me what the excuse is for this behaviour then.
Why are you mad at me? I haven't done it.
No, but I just feel like not backing me up.
Oh, sorry. I'll back you up more. No, I totally agree. It's totally disgusting.
Tell the camera
It's
you hate
disgusting. It is, in all seriousness.
Granted, a year out.
Yes. So
we can have this conversation a year out.
The issue we're at the moment is content creators is a totally new thing. And this is not in contracts of many people, is it? I feel like if you're a photographer and you now have got couples that are getting content creators, I think you need to speak to the content creator, speak to the couple, just say to the couple, like, can you make it clear that, you know, photos come first if that's what they want, blah, 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 blah. So I get the issue. I get where this has come from. However, it's not your wedding, first. Second of all, you're just doing photos. You're paid to do photos and then give them the photos.
Just do your job.
So if the content creator starts getting in the way, cool. Okay.
Photoshop them out.
No, but also I couldn't deliver those photos because you got a content creator and they've got in the way.
He literally said, you'll be in the photos. And then the couple were worried that he'd purposely get her in photos. And be like, I told you. If you're a good photographer, you can AI Photoshop them out. I was speaking to
content creator.
I was talking to a photographer the other day and he was like, I edited like 20 people out just like that with AI.
Yeah.
You don't get it. There's nothing to get.
No.
I get the content creator situation's a bit
That's what I'm
sticky
trying to say.
and it's rubbing people up the wrong way. But if you want to stay on trends and you want to be with good couples and modern couples.
But I used to get it when they were like, well, why is a coordinator? That's what I normally do. And I'm like, you don't know, do you? You take photos. If I'm coordinating, it means you can take more photos and better photos. I'll worry about the confetti line. Like, but every wedding I go to, every time I meet a new photographer, I do the same spiel. You're drinking really loudly from that cup. We're getting the whole swallow and everything. I will
McDonald's Diet Coke is elite though, isn't it?
No, I'm a Sprite gal.
Oh yeah. Anyway, go on. Let's hear your spiel then.
Sorry. So spiel. My favourite spiel of every wedding is I'll be like, "Hi, I'm Georgie. I'm coordinating. So can we just run through the day plan? Check we've got the same information. I will let you do what you do. I'll support where needed, and then I'll just keep you up to date with timings, and I'll let you know if anything important's happening, and you're not there." Most people are like, "Awesome, cool. Let's have a great day. Buzzing, excited." Some of them are like, "Well, I know what I'm doing." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Well, I'm just letting you know." Like,
do you know what?
It's such a
behaviour.
Honestly, it's a power thing, and I'm like, I don't want to be doing what you're doing. You do photos, cool, but I have been paid to run this, so I'm going to run it. I'm going to make sure you've got time for photos. I'm going to make sure that the confetti is done and blah 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 blah. But they just can't deal with someone potentially being on the same level of importance.
Why do you think that is?
I really don't. I genuinely don't. I think it's an insecurity thing.
But I also think as well, it's actually a big statement to make actually, because I'm not going to make it because there are some photographers that have been around the block a long time and are fucking epic.
Yes.
Epic.
Yes.
Like they know who they are and they've embraced content creators.
Agreed.
They've taught content creation.
Agreed.
Their angles and how they'd work and like literally amazing. But there's some.
This is what
you're so behind the times.
We might be scaring people. This is a very small majority
you will
of
know,
suppliers.
You will know by looking at the photos what I'm on about. Your saturation's a bit too high, mate.
Your photographer over here.
Your grass looks like it's got a highlighter on it. You know? Like, not everyone who watermarks their photos is bad. Like,
yes, yeah. We should put that out there.
Not everyone.
Yes. But also some people that don't and are new and young and hip also not always good. So
no. But this is why it's important to feel the energy, feel the vibe.
Yes.
And if you've got
feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme.
If you've got someone that's being quite forceful,
yes,
unless their work's like out of this world, then I'd just be like,
But let me take that and flip that. So first of all, I agree with your story. I'd be pissed off too. You were good for trying to sort. Moving on. We have to get over it now. It's fine. I feel bad for you. You look stressed out. I know, I get it. Let's now talk about, though, when people try and change the photographer, because that's my other issue. You can't contact a photographer and say, I really want you, but I don't like your edit. Can you do an edit different? Like, this is, you can't do that.
That's like telling someone, sorry, I like your I like you, but I don't like your outfit. You need to change.
Yes, it's not, if you don't like the photos, don't book the photographer.
It's actually a little bit insulting.
Massively insulting.
Like,
you can't say lighten everything up. You can't say, can you make it all a bit airier? It's not what happens.
No.
You can't.
It's not their vibe.
No.
It's not their. And this is why, like, no.
And again, you can't say to people, can you Photoshop that out? Because some photographers will not Photoshop.
Oh, come on.
Most photographers won't Photoshop.
BS.
Swear on my life.
No, I know. Every photographer I know will do it.
Promise you they don't.
I promise you they do.
Promise you they don't.
Promise you do.
Promise you they don't. Not for weddings. Maybe for your style shoot when you say, can you get rid of that?
No.
Don't make me bet money with you.
No, because I watch all the TikToks when they do it.
They're the TikToks where they're doing the AI. You know when people are standing there, in fact 90% of the photographers that I work with, they're like, take a photo and the mum's like, oh, make sure you Photoshop that, my arm out. Oh, sorry, I mean like stuff like that.
No,
I don't mean a fire alarm.
No, okay, we're on different...
Fine, I don't mean like...
Photographers will not amend the way people look.
Yes, they will not Photoshop your arm skinnier. They will not get rid of the belly button. They will not do stuff like that. They might do the belly button, but like they will get rid of fire exit signs. They will get rid of...
a bin.
Some floor rubber, I don't know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But they will not edit how you look. Mm-hmm. So if you want that,
find one that does.
Good luck. I don't know many that would change what you look like.
No, sorry, you did make it clear.
No, sorry, I knew what I was saying. We had an argument the other week about something like that. And we were both on totally different things. I think book what you're looking at. I know, I'll give 3 good tips for booking a photographer.
They better be good.
They are good. Okay, let me think of them. Number 1, you need to see an entire wedding album. You cannot just get the confetti shots. You need to see all of the mundane stuff in between, all of the candid shots of people that you don't know, because they're not interesting on Instagram. You won't want to look at, but you need to look at an entire album. You also need to look at, this is all within the same tip, you also need to try and get one from a similar venue, like, and similar time of year, something like that. If you're getting married in winter, I want to see a winter album. I need to see how you're doing light. I need to see how you're doing rain, all of that sort of jazz.
Top tier tip there.
Top tier tip. Tip number 2, you kind of touched on this. You have to speak to them. You non-negotiable. You need to have a chat, because if you don't vibe, you're not going to enjoy it at all. Like, it's not going to be a fun day.
I think that's across the board with all your suppliers.
All suppliers. Well. Yes, I agree. But photographer will be so close to you for the entire day that you've got to be friends.
I would say the photographer is the second closest person apart from your partner on your wedding day.
100% agree. And number 3, they do not have to have gone to your venue. They don't have to have seen the venue. They don't have to do a site visit. In fact, sometimes photographers are better when they turn up and they're like, where are we going to do this then? Where are we going to get this couple shot? Where's the light coming from? Because everything changes. You want, like you were saying about the recommended suppliers on a list, I don't want the same photo. I don't want the photos in the same spot. Maybe a few, maybe under the arch, like the obvious ones, but I want someone to come in and be like, boom, what can we do?
Let their juices get flowing, their creative juices.
Yeah.
So also, how long is delivery time? Because we had a client who had a videographer and didn't deliver for 10 months. Their wedding video.
Time, isn't it?
10 months.
Yeah. How long do you think photos should be?
I always think you should get a sneak preview gallery within the first 48 hours after the wedding.
I disagree.
24 hours.
24 hours. I think, and sorry if that puts unrealistic expectations on people, there is no excuse to not be able to send 3 photos.
I see a lot of photographers do it during the meal. Yeah, they'll just start looking at photos.
I don't mind if it's earlier in the day. I don't like the first shots you've taken. I don't care. I don't care if it's not the best shots of the entire album. There is no excuse for not giving them a couple of photos, because they are desperate. Like, they are desperate for them.
I'm desperate too.
Like, everybody's desperate for them. We all want to see it. Like, give them summit.
So after that, I've seen like 8 weeks.
8 weeks, I think, is normal. 8 weeks is like, anything less than that is good. But also, you've got to bear in mind, like, wedding season. If you're picking top tier photographers, they're going to be doing a lot of weddings.
Plus, they want them to be perfect.
Yes.
Like, you can't rush that skill.
Yes.
Like, wait, it's going to be
just
worth
chill.
it.
Just chill. I also didn't hate the wait for our photos because actually, by the time you get the photos, I can't remember how ours weren't very long, but by the time you get them, you've seen all the like phone pictures and stuff like that, and then you get those and they're like, bam, bam.
How do you feel about photo albums?
So I think I'm currently having one done. Why are you putting that face? If you don't print it, you'll never look at it.
It's nearly been a year, mate.
I know, Pat, where's the photo album? It was something that was a bit like, meh, yeah, we'll print some. But I want to get some of those really bougie coffee table ones at some point. Actually, at some point in my life, I want year photo albums.
Yeah, I love them that they look like magazines. They look cool.
Yes, I think
That's
you
good.
should print some. So my photographer was Pat Partridge. I will fully, he did not pay to endorse this episode, but I will fully shout him out because he was fucking amazing.
He is. And this is what I mean. He has the best energy.
Yes.
The best vibe.
Yes.
He literally come into this industry with a storm and just nailed it with his skills, his personality and vibe.
Yeah, agreed. I couldn't
And if
agree
he
more.
doesn't record this for real, I'll be annoyed.
Seagulls, man.
Plus, he's also great at a party. Like,
Yes.
gets involved
This is
on the
what I'm
dance
saying.
floor, gives people the camera to go and like, have fun with.
Yeah, one of this is not an endorsement for Pat, but one of the best photos from our dance floor is when he gave me the camera and I took a photo of Brian, and it's because you get a different. Of course, you get a different photo from when they're coming over to the love of your life. But he's given, so as a coordinator, he's chucked me a camera before to be like, take photos during the first dance. Because he genuinely cares about getting photos, and that's what you want.
Genuinely cares.
Yes,
He's not bored of it.
Yeah,
He's not over it.
Yeah.
He's still excited to edit.
Yeah.
He's still excited. He's like literally.
and that's the thing. This is what you'll figure out when you speak to people. If you do a Zoom call with a photographer or a phone call, you will know if they give a shit or not.
If they can't be asked to be on that call.
Yeah. If it's just ticking it off to get the booking, I promise you'll get that feeling. If you end a call with a photographer or supplier and think, yeah, like, okay, they're not the one for you.
And they need to know something about you. If they've not asked anything about you.
Yes. I've done calls with people before and asked them stuff, and it's coming up close to their wedding. They'd be like, oh my God, nobody's asked us that. And I'm like, these are big questions. Like, I always start by asking my couple about them. Mm-hmm. I always do full on tell me stuff. What do I need to know? And my favorite question to ask people is what would your friends say about you? How do your friends describe you? Are you party people? Are you Netflix and chill? Like what type of person is this? And then you start to get actual personalities come out. It's nice. But yes, you should know that, speaking to a photographer, what their energy is and what they're bringing to that day. Because some people will want a calmer photographer. Yeah. And that's okay. Like, that's cool. But you need to know what you want and speak to them.
You need a list if you're having photos.
What?
If you're having group photos,
are you moving on to a whole other topic here?
I'm giving you tips.
Okay. Yeah, group shots. Tell me.
Have a list. Don't do too many.
How many is too many?
Over 10.
Okay. I would go for 6. 6 is the golden number, but it does depend on if you've got split up families and blah, 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 blah.
10 max.
Group shots, as somebody that watches group shots a lot,
they give me the ick.
They're shit.
Reminds me of like you have your year photo at school.
Yes.
And everyone's lined up.
It's worse than that. The other day I had somebody, they were doing group shots and they'd done the uncles and then they'd done the cousins. And then this lady came up to me, she's like, they haven't done one with the cousins and the uncles. And I was like, they don't want that one. They didn't want many group shots at all, and they were lucky they got that one. I know that they need one together, and I was like, they don't want any more group photos. And I was like, they're having no more group photos, and then just walked off. And I was like, how dare you dictate what group shots they're having?
People love to dictate.
Oh, go away, Karen. Like Karens. Literally can't be bothered with you.
I feel
dictating.
Sorry for people with the name Karen.
I know. I feel that's it's the same as people that were called Alexa before Alexa.
Yeah.
It's bad, isn't it? Anyway, group shots. Should we do some tips for group shots as well?
Yeah.
Okay. You can cut the knuckle crack out. 5 tips for group shots. Number 1, you need 2 people helping you round up guests. 1 from, let's say, bride and groom for this example. 1 from bride's side of the family. 1 from groom's side of the family. There's no point having bridesmaids if they don't know who anybody is. Tip 2, bride and groom, stay still. Just stand there. Don't move. Don't talk to people. Don't go off and leave. Stand in the spot. Get your dress ready. Stay there. Tip 3 is to make sure that your photographer has the group shots with the names of the people. You can't write mum and nan. We need names, specific names.
Tip 4, put anybody that you're not quite sure about, partners or whatever,
on the end.
On the end. Good old crop them out.
And then tip 5 is don't forget that you can take photos in between. So whilst people are leaving, feel free to say to the photographer, could you just me and my mum quick? Like, there's nothing wrong with adding some in, but the group shot list that you give to your photographer is the like master copy. You have to get these shots, and it'll be on photographer's list of like, I'm not leaving until these photos are done. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you can't then do any more photos.
Nice. Heard it here first.
But I'm not going to lie to you, they're awkward. If you can get somebody playing music, if you can get somebody entertaining in between.
Music's a good one.
Yeah, like just something that we just did ours quick. I reckon it took 15 minutes max to do ours.
Should we have spoke to a photographer about it before doing any of this?
Nah. I see him every week. No, I think I feel like we have rights to give tips for photography. I can't talk about editing styles. I can't talk about, like, because sometimes my couples will say to me as well, and they're like, I'm looking for this kind of editing style, and I'm like, it's so subjective. Like what I think is light and airy and what they think is light and airy are two different things. So I will just recommend cool people that I like, that I know turn up to weddings, that I know are a good vibe. They can then look at the photos.
Yeah. And do you know what? 90% of photographers are pretty cool.
Agreed.
And
to be fair, most of the time when I start with a photographer and they're a little bit like, within half an hour, they've realised where I sit in the role and where they sit in the role, and we're good.
What's the worst story you have of a photographer?
It
can't be the ones that drank by the barbecue.
No. Oh, that was the worst experience of photographers though. I don't like when they take over. That's what I don't like. I don't like when it's the photographer show. And there's some photographers that are a bit like that. And it's a bit much. And you've got to, I think as a supplier, you have to sense the mood, sense the tone.
But how do the clients know that?
Know what?
That they're going to be like that?
On a call.
Yeah.
If
they're a job's worth.
Yes. Like, honestly, it's tricky though. You always feel like as a couple, that is a good tip actually. As a couple, if you're ringing someone, you need to have some questions for them. It's not just
you're interviewing them.
Yeah. You're figuring out if you should give them your cold hard cash and the privilege of being at your wedding. That's how you should look at it when you go into it. They'll, like a supplier, and in my case, will lead the conversation because there's like things to talk about. And like I've got a clear thing that we talk through, because otherwise the calls would just be a bit like, we good? You cool? What you doing?
What's the name of your pet?
What's your mother's maiden name? It just sounds like you're trying to rob a bank. But you should definitely have some questions ready to sort of say, well, how would you describe your
What are you going to bring
style?
to the table?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've had people ask me that actually, and it proper throws me off, and I love it. Because I'm like, oh, well, actually, yeah, I'm really good at my job.
I am the table. I feel like we've moaned about photographers this whole episode, but it's not.
No, because genuinely, I love most photographers.
They are.
They make it.
Yeah.
Make it. And then you see the photos and you're like, not only have you taken the photos, but you have captured that feeling.
Oh.
Some photos, like, I love all of our photos, but there's some photos where I'm like, oh, I feel like I remember that moment. It takes you back to that moment. I think that's why the photos are so important.
Photographers are like superheroes.
I agree, because they actually do have to catch everything.
Very skilled individuals.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have talked about this before, but I think second shooters are definitely a must. Like group shots versus candids and stuff like that. Like you want the candid photos, of course, but I promise you, if you just had candid photos, you'd be like, oh, I didn't get any.
I'm like, I need to redo the wedding.
Yeah, and people, I do think sometimes people are like, oh no, we don't want group shots, and I'm like, you will. Of course you will. You'll need some group photos, and that's why when you write that shot list is really important. I spoke to someone, I can't remember who it was, but they didn't have a photo of them two and their child. And it's just because because it was such a busy day and it wasn't on the list of just the three of them, that then you've got to make sure that list is like
spot on.
Yeah.
And you also got to kiss that little bit longer.
Yes.
So they capture it.
Yeah. Oh, I did a wedding the other day and it was in a church and the couple kissed and fucking Dave leant out of his pew with his own camera and took a photo.
Dave, you're cancelled.
Like, the photographer turned to me and was like, I've missed it. Didn't get the shot. Literally didn't get the shot. So I went and spoke to, then they went and signed the register. So I went and spoke to Dave and I was like, I'm really sorry. Please don't lean out. Because obviously they're going to then be walking back out the aisle. We don't want to ruin those photos. But the photographer was gutted. He was like, I haven't got it. I've totally missed the shot. So we've...
So much pressure on them.
So much pressure. If you miss that moment, but then as a couple, like if you peck when they announce you married, you can't expect them to capture that. Like you really can't. You need to kiss, you need to help your photographer out a little bit. But we managed to get the couple. So I think the photographer went and spoke to them whilst they were signing the register. And then he got them to kiss again in the same spot after they signed the register. So it didn't look weird for guests. They just kissed in that moment. But like, that's not that moment.
Huge pressure.
Because he ruined it.
Huge pressure on them.
This is, but...
This is why they do like rule the roost to some extent. Because they need to get these shots
and
for
they'll
you.
Get in trouble, like not in trouble, but they'll get...
You'll be pissed off if you don't get that shot.
Yeah, back being like, what? Where's the one where we kissed?
We can't Photoshop that one.
No, that is not something you can type into AI. Like, it's just not... Like, you can get kisses later and stuff like that, cool, but...
It's not the kiss.
The kiss. Ugh, God's sake. Question.
Yeah.
What if you don't like your photos after a wedding?
I know people that don't like the photos after a wedding, but more down to the editing style, I think.
So can you ask for... Because a lot of photographers put in their contract that you can't have the raw images.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that to some extent because
I do.
They don't look like the raw images
are gross. Yeah.
Like gross.
Would you be offended if somebody re-edited? Because this is another... See, I bet if there must be a photographer podcast out there, but I bet they get fuming when venue takes a photo, puts an edit over it, and then posts that. And they're like, no.
Point blank, you cannot edit a photographer's photos.
Nope.
Don't fucking screenshot your photos from the link that the photographer sent you and then upload them on Instagram.
Don't forget to download your entire album because at some point in life it will go. You need those photos off the drive.
Yeah. You lost my train of thought.
Sorry, I'm just butting in with another tip.
And also, it's quite nice to credit your photographer, you know?
Question. Do you credit a photographer if you've paid for the image? Because we're obviously in a different situation where if you're getting something for free, if they're doing a styled shoot, you've got to credit them. If you've paid for the photos, do you have to credit them?
You don't have to. But again, if you're happy with their work... But
should a couple be crediting...
If you're happy with their work, you'd be like, thanks so much for capturing our special day.
On every photo?
Oh, you don't have to, but...
I was just wondering. Just like...
At least the initial one, I think.
Yeah, but I would say not the initial one. Because the initial one is the like...
Did you credit Pat?
Yes, but it's a different situation.
Why?
Because I'm a supplier.
Why?
It's just different. It is different. If I was a couple...
Did you pay Pat?
I did pay Pat. Yeah.
The discounted rate.
Mate, when I got engaged, Pat was new as I was. So I was like, bro, how much? And he was like, this is much. And I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then 2 years later, he was really good. Yeah, see, this was the other thing. I booked Pat. Like, you've got to trust the process of that they're only getting better. They are only getting better. So when you look at these new ones that are a little bit cheaper, maybe you haven't got the budget.
In a year or two's time, they're going to have 2 years of experience.
Looked out. But also, I have seen photographers whose style have changed over that time. What happens then?
Yes, I have. Because, do you know what? A photographer actually said to me, I've sent you the gallery of a blah, blah, blah. Here's a new gallery because this is my new preset. And I was just like,
oh.
So, and she was like, can you take down all the other ones? It's not my style anymore. And I was like, whoa.
No. You can't take it down.
I did, out of respect.
On the website. Can't take them off the social media.
Yeah, we took them off socials as
but
well.
They're posted. I wouldn't take them off my social media. They're in the right order.
I'm respectful.
Yeah, but some people have got grids that fit in with a aesthetic.
You basically got a watermark on your photo with that comment.
No, mine isn't actually aesthetic, but I wouldn't take down old posts because the engagement and stuff like that's happened on it.
Yeah, well,
I just would post
I
going
respect
forward.
That photographer, so I did.
Oh, fuck off, Beth. I have one last thing to say about photography. Do the engagement shoot.
Yes.
Please, if you take anything from this episode, book an engagement shoot.
Should photographers include an engagement shoot?
I don't care if you hide it in the cost of the package originally or if you say it's extra £250, whatever. I promise you it'll make it better because you'll already be more familiar with a photographer.
You actually know what you're going to look like.
You know what you're looking like.
You know what angles to do.
We did an engagement shoot, but then we also had Pat for our legal wedding. So when I have those photos, I was like, cool, okay, I like when I do this. I don't like when I do this. And like, honestly, it's an opportunity to just have a little bit of forethought for what you like.
Can't go back and do
You
it.
cannot go back. You cannot go back and get these photos. But an engagement shoot will help with figuring out your poses, figuring out what looks good for you guys, getting to know the photographer, and you got nice photos. What more can you want?
I hope photographers don't hate us after this.
We haven't said anything bad.
No, I know.
I mean, the guy that you've slated probably will, but never mind. He can sponsor an episode.
If he knows it's about him,
Then he knows he's done wrong.
He knows he's done wrong.
Would you like a bitch from a bride?
Yes.
Okay. I'm getting married in June, and I found out my mother-in-law is planning on wearing white trousers. How do I approach that? I obviously feel like it's very inappropriate and the only colour she needs to avoid for the day. Any advice is appreciated.
I'd get her a card from like Moonpig or somewhere.
Yeah.
And make the front be, there are however many, the TikTok you did where it's like, there are
9,999,999 colours.
Don't wear white to my wedding.
Just don't wear white to my wedding. White trousers though.
No. Why?
Do we really care about white trousers?
Yeah, I do. If you don't want someone to wear white,
no,
you tell them.
It feels a little bit like I'm wearing white anyway.
Yeah.
But I would rather white trousers than a white top.
Yeah, but regardless, you just got to have that conversation.
Yeah, I went to a wedding the other day. Woman in full white dress. Bardo white dress. You know, the lace kind of thing you wear.
Was she young?
No. She was old enough to know better. And I cannot tell you that every wedding I go to, someone's in white. Or something very risky. But she was in full-blown white. And I literally looked at her and I was like...
Did you say anything?
No, what am I going to say?
Why are you in white?
Oh, no. The bride and groom were very chill, so I don't think they would even noticed or cared. But I was literally like... I'm so petty. Every time, like, I was stood greeting people come in and I was like, hi, hi. And then she came and I was like...
Side A.
You can't wear white. I think the conversation with the mother-in-law needs to be look, we've told other people they cannot wear white at all.
Don't feel comfortable.
Please respect. But do you get the guy to do it?
Yeah.
Do you?
100%.
He's not going to...
I don't care.
No, that's a woman-to-woman thing.
All right. Well, it depends how close they are.
Yeah. Conversation.
Sorry, if your mother-in-law wanted to wear white trousers, you would not let her happen.
I didn't have a clue what she was turning up in.
Oh,
honestly. No, it wasn't discussed. She could have come in white.
Wow.
I don't know what I would have done.
You'd be pissed, mate.
Yeah, of course I would. I'd be pissed if anybody turned up in white.
All right, then.
Rude. Okay. Tip jar. I mean, Beth got rid of my jar, so I've just wrote down a thing to talk about, basically. Posing clock.
Ah!
I knew she'd know what this is after. Do you want to explain it this time? I did a TikTok on it, so you're going to have to try and explain it with people that are on audio as well.
My back hurts.
I feel like I've done this thing where I've asked somebody to do something, but if you don't do it right, I'm going to butt in.
So, the posing clock. It is where your angles on your face are the best. So, looking in the mirror.
No. Camera. You got to take the photos.
Well, you got to take. All right, do a video on your
phone.
phone.
No. You got to be with your mates. You got to be 1-to-1 like this. Get your future partner.
Get a camera out, and you literally imagine you've got a clock in front of you, and you're gonna go 12, 1, 2,
and you're slightly turning your head
to find the best number. I think you said mine was.
I think you're 10. No, you're 4. Yes, you're 4.
4.
See, like I'm not 6 because I got chin.
Yeah.
I think I'm 10.
That side must look better.
No, I'm
for me.
3. So you basically take a photo on every hour of the clock, and then you look back at the photos and you're like, I look best there. And then when it comes to all of those photos on the wedding day, you're like, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. It's easier. It makes you feel better because you already know your kind of angle.
I do feel like posing that, like, again, no one knows, like, unless you like take photographs frequently, or professional photos of
my
yourself.
TikTok the other day went friggin' nuts about the holding a Skittle. Did you see that?
No.
Oh, thanks for your support. So, the wedding the other day, the videographer was brilliant and he did this tip and I was like, oh my God, I need that tip. So I obviously tagged him, don't worry. But he says you have to pretend to hold a Skittle in between your thumb and finger on both hands. So when you're doing those like portrait photos or, you know, where the bride's getting ready, so you're just kind of like playing with it so that your hands are doing something. Because otherwise you're like, what do I do with my hands? So you just kind of like pretend. So then their photos are just, they're very delicate hands and it's beautiful. This is the sort of stuff. There's a woman on TikTok that does posing tips, actually. Maybe we should get some more from her. I'm going to have to watch it. Because it's like shoulders back, boobs out, leg forward.
Oh, posture's huge. Like, my posture's so bad on this.
Same.
Someone said to me something about, I don't know, I can't remember what they said. Something along the lines of me being like, I was like, why don't you sit for however long, have a camera on you,
during the podcast,
a professional camera at all angles, and come back at me.
I'm worried about how I'm sat now.
And tell me you look the same as you think you look.
We need some posing.
We're literally sat
advice
on a sofa. Imagine you sat on a sofa at home and being videoed.
Whilst you're listening to this, if you're sat at your sofa, take a little quick photo of yourself and see how you look.
Show me them chins. Because when I go on front camera and I'm led on the sofa, it ain't pretty.
It's the same as when I come here and I'm like, right, I need to put my headphones on, and I look at the picture and I'm like, oh, why is there so much face there? But anyway,
we're here. We do it for you. We dedicate it for you. We're not too
get our chins out every week for this, but hopefully it helps.
Do you think photographers like really posed couples? Do you think it's easier for them?
I feel like they're getting their money worth if they get to have a bit more say. I know you're going to talk, but I'm going to go in. I feel like as a couple, if you know the photos you want, cool, but you have to do both.
I feel like photographers need you to give something back to them. Otherwise, It's just you look as awkward as you feel.
Which is why the engagement shoot is so important.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, trust your photographers. Again, you paid for that photographer. So if they say to you, we're going to do some photos of you on the other side, because sometimes brides are like, I want to be on this side. We're going to do some of you on the other side as well, just in case. Just mix things up a little bit. You'll get hundreds of photos after. You cannot use those ones if you don't want to, but let's just have the option. That was a good episode. I liked that one. Yeah. What should we do next? I want to talk about the hen do's next. We had loads of people message us about hen do's and drama.
Yeah, because we were talking about earlier, and Georgie tried to give me a shit excuse as why she wouldn't come to my hen do. So
no, hold up. I'm just going to end
see
before
you
we...
next
No end. My point was, and I'll leave it here, if Beth said she wanted to go to Dubai in a 5-star establishment and go to all these high-end restaurants, I'm not coming.
Bullshit.
Mate, I'm not paying for that.
You would.
No, yeah, but I don't want to. You would put people in a really awkward situation.
You don't want to, but you would. And I tell you now, you'd have the best bloody time.
No, because the whole time you'd be like, this is so expensive. Literally get a mortgage.
Can I just say, you have the money.
You don't know how much money I've got.
I do, because we have a podcast together.
Okay, I'll use the podcast money then.
And I know how much you charge for your weddings. I know how many weddings you do.
No, but you don't know my outgoings, you don't know my staff, you don't know my mortgage, you don't know my child, you don't know Brian, none of it.
I reckon I could get a good guesstimate on it.
Absolutely not, we'll do that after.
You've got a couple of G's to spend on my hen do.
This is the problem. Brian, I can see you trying to wrap us up, Brian, but it's not happening. This is the problem. There's a big difference between money that people have and that they want to spend. I'm planning for the future, hun. I'm planning for that 50 retirement.
You just spent £150 on a colour match.
And no,
you wanted to buy something really expensive, like a gimbal thing that you lost.
No,
a body cam for your wedding.
The photographer had a body cam, and I was like, "Fuck, that'd be some great content." Anyway, we have to go. We'll save this all for an episode, and I will explain why I'm not coming on Beth's hen do. Mainly because you're not engaged. Okay, bye. Bye.